So, how did I learn French without going to school? Pumping up the paddle, and we are on the beach. Look at us on the beach here, and not too many people. The family's down there, friends and family, and that's the beach. Not many people. 1st of May. In the south of France, it's probably ram packed. Not for us. So yeah, gonna go out and paddle with the kids and that, have a laugh. About 25 degrees or something, pretty nice. And catch you later. Out to this island here, behind me. And I come all the way from over there. So it took me half an hour to get here, about, maybe a bit more, about 35 minutes. Because a little bit of headwind, and that's gone, it's dropped, it's completely calm now. Look at this water, eh? This is where I live. I live up the back there, behind that tower there, and that's the beach. That's our beach. All that big beach there, that's our beach. It's the village beach, and then there's loads of little beaches and big beaches along there. And yeah, life's a beach, eh? Having fun. I'm having fun today. I've had a nice meal, a very light one as well. So today it's going to try and lose some weight today, because I put some weight on, but I'm doing all right. 73.4, put on like 400 grams since last week. Yeah, so anyway, having fun. Got to head on back now. I'll do another video later on about learning languages, which is pretty cool. I did a video this morning, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, video time. Been working on a track with for Bastian, so that's good. And yeah, happy days. Catch you soon. Hello, welcome back. Look at this on the floor here. Look. It's a cassette. Someone chucked a cassette out the window. Obviously, something happened to it. I will leave it there for now. I'll pick it up later and put it in the bin. That's a bit weird, seeing a cassette on the floor in 2025. Someone's got a cassette in their car. How weird is that? Brilliant. I mean, only in Corsica, because yeah, someone who's driving around with a cassette in their car. So, how did I learn French without going to school? Not an easy task. So hi, welcome back to a new video, and here, like I said, we're going to be talking about how I learned French without going to school or having any kind of formal education in French. How I managed to learn it by living here, but at a later age. Like I got here, I was 20, so that's not like that's kind of, you know, that's young enough to learn a language, yeah, but it's not young enough for it to be kind of like how would one say, a natural kind of language where, you know, when you go to school, when you're sort of 13 and you end up going to school, and in 2 years you're completely bilingual, whereas at 20 it's a bit different. But I was fortunate enough to be submerged in a situation where I spoke French all the time in Paris. So the first kind of year of being here, I was mainly working with English people, and I was talking English to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. 45 years later, yes, we've been together 45 years. And so that's a big number, 45 years at the moment. It keeps coming up, doesn't it? So yeah, so how did I do it? Basically, it wasn't that easy at the beginning, because I was with English people selling donuts and all that sort of stuff that you can hear about that in my story, and which was the best time of my life here in 1980, selling donuts on the beach. And we kind of only spoke French a bit, and I was trying to pick it up, but I wasn't very good. And the only way I actually started learning is when we were in Paris, and that's where it turned around. So we ended up in Paris for the winter of 81-82, and I kind of learnt a bit there. I was what I did is I translated the Télé 7 jours, which is a guide, a TV guide, and I used to translate the film of the evening, and then watch the film in French and try and understand it. But because I'd read the summary, I translated the summary into English and kind of like figured out what the summary was about, and then I'd watch it, and I kind of started understanding, but I couldn't really speak it, but I could understand it. It was kind of coming together. And then I remember going to England, and I bought a book in W.H. Smith, How to Read and Write English, French, sorry. And so what I did is I brought it back. I'd gone to see my mum or something, mum and dad at the time. I bought this book back and I just did all the lessons. It was just a set load of lessons of how to learn the grammar and everything. I can't remember what the book was, but it was very good. And I learned the grammar, how to read and write it, and it started to click. Because I understood the actual logic of it all by reading and writing it. Well, reading it more than anything else, but I was doing all the exercises, and so I had this kind of base of English, French, and then we went back and did another season. And then we came up to Paris for the winter of 82, and that's where I got a job in a place where we would develop photos and I would deliver them, and I got a job there. I think I talked about that in my story of how I got the job with that and all the rest of it. And I actually did a video on this, but it wasn't the same. It's not the same kind of subject, I think. Anyway, I talked about it in another video somewhere, and I got the job there, and that's where I started speaking French all the time. The only reason I got the job was because I was English and I could translate the machine. They needed this machine to be translated. Now I talked about that in another video. I'll find the video and put a link in for that video. And yeah, so I started ended up in this place where no one spoke English, so I spoke French all the time. And within 4 months of working there, I've become pretty proficient in French. My French is all clicked together. I was speaking it fluently. And so by the time we went back to do another season, I was completely fluent in French. I turned up and everyone went, "What? I can speak French. I can speak French really good." And that was it. And that was the start of my journey. And of course, after that, you just accumulate more and more culture, through TV and stuff like that. For all the 80s culture in France and 80s and 90s culture, I lived it. I was here, people like Coluche dying and, things like that. I was actually in the south of France when he had his accident, and just all the, the culture of the general kind of culture of French cinema and all the actors and stuff like that. I missed out in England because I didn't have French English TV, so I was completely submerged. So I'm not sure if it's harder today to learn French than it was back then because of the submersion factor, the fact that you were completely submerged in the language and not having any kind of English TV or Netflix to watch, which is an easy way out. You had to watch the black and white TV because we couldn't afford a colour one, and we had a black and white TV, a little small portable one, and I was watching that. And that was it, I was watching, old films, French films, going to the cinema. We went to the cinema and I started just understanding it, and it just became more and more fluent. And now my French kind of culture, and I think that is the most important thing, is that if you've got the culture with the language, your language is reasonably well, don't make too many mistakes, like the female male mistakes and stuff like that. I still get confused sometimes, but it's more or less natural now. But the culture's there, so I kind of come across as being French because of the culture more than the actual French that I speak. So yeah, anyway, so that's the kind of way I learnt it without going to school. Because I must say, when I got here, I didn't even know how to ask for a beer in French. You know, I mean, I was that bad. So yeah, so don't give up. You know, if you want to learn French, you just got to find a way to submerge yourself in a situation where you only speaking the language and not speaking English. It's the only way you can do it, really. I mean, you can learn on, you know, take lessons and stuff like that. That'll learn the basics and stuff. But to really become fluent, you gotta put yourself in a position where you spend 6 months only speaking that language. You know. Anyway, I hope that was of use to you. And you know, you're never too young. So. Remember, life's a beach, and I will see you soon. Ciao. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all that, yeah? Cheers, bye.